I took the assignment a little bit literally, and I was thinking about, in terms of liberating constraints, the moment at which the liberation happens from the constraint. So what you're seeing here is Central Park. Olmsted developed this plan. It was really the very first time from a design standpoint that somebody got away from the classicism of axial views. And here in Chicago, the very first skyscraper was developed in the Reliance building. The tallest building before that was the Monadnock building, and that was done in masonry construction, but steel allowed us to do this building. And then all of a sudden, everything exploded skyward after that. This is called the Loft Cube. This is a prefab building that you can drop down from a helicopter on top of anything. You get a little bit of electricity and plumbing. It's hooked up. This is not your other trailer that you had seen back in the 50s. This is a fantastic structure. And I'm so pissed that you already showed this slide. This is the Bilbao done by Frank Gehry. He came up with this because of computers. And now, unfortunately, once you're liberated from the constraint of this, everybody has to have one. You go to the Frank Gehry catalog, you pick one out for your Millennium Park, and you can have one too. This is a public toilet in London. You can't see it hardly from the outside. It's a mirror, but when you get inside, you can see everybody from the inside, on the right-hand side. Talk about liberating your constraint. So you might feel a little bit more constrained when you get inside this toilet. You might not go in there for what you thought you were going in there for. For what I do in terms of designing hotels, the Delano, the Paramount, and the Royalton were the very first hotel rooms to come up with this white bed. It was completely audacious at the time, but so dirty. We do these Marriott beds. Now, Westin, Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, all the way down your Hampton Inns do that. And then the first design that I saw, oh, these are very high-res slides. The iMac was the first time that design came into the computer world or into something functional and said, hey, we demand something from a design standpoint. We're not going to deal with this anymore. And people cared enough to care about the design. Then Target brought it down to, we care enough about the design to pay nothing for it. When we go into the store, we demand design no matter what the cost. Including this jacket that I'm wearing. See? From Target. Thank you. I'll wait for this to catch up for a moment. Andy Warhol approached art from the standpoint that no one had ever done before. He's got the factory. He's lithoing everything he's doing. He's not painting like the old masters any longer. And he's not constrained by any of the rules that the art world had put out there before. And in terms of the fashion world, I found this to be the most liberating constraint in terms of designing dresses made out of condoms. It's a lovely array. I didn't see these on Project Runway this year. I only saw the human hair dresses. But I thought these were definitely worthwhile. I don't own one myself. The Stonewall riots took place in New York and on the evening of Judy Garland's funeral. And really this was the anniversary of what has become our gay pride parades here in the United States, and really the first time to liberate that whole sect of our society. A very, very important moment. And this is the exact moment when Nelson Mandela walked out of prison after being in prison for 26 years. He was the president of the ANC and then elected president of South Africa, and said that to quote Gandhi, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. This is the moment that they started dismantling the Berlin Wall. Perestroika brought the end of the Soviet Union and bringing down the Berlin Wall, and a very important moment. And to liberate rock and roll throughout the United States, Elvis Presley's hips, which couldn't be shown on the Ed Sullivan Show, but was an important moment in rock and roll history. We'll just focus on his hips.
We love your coat.
The moment at which the White House, and most specifically the Oval Office, was liberated is illustrated on this slide. Or the moment at which a cigar was liberated was noted on this slide. But I I would say more importantly than that, the moment the office of the President of the United States has been liberated from needing to have any type of intellectual curiosity or any type of thoughtful judgment on anything was for the past 8 years. And we hope that soon, this fall, we won't have to deal with that any longer. I think that this is a really great moment of liberating strength. Again, David, I think you showed another Oprah slide. I'm very upset about this. The Scientologists, am I offending any Scientologists in the room right now? I just want to make sure, I'm sorry. It's a non-Thetan moment right now. And this is childbirth. This is truly the origination of liberating constraint. I wish that we didn't have to have this slide here for 20 seconds for some of you. I'm sorry if you haven't gone through, or if you have gone through this experience, the moment at which this happens. I also started thinking about one of the most important innovations for the internet in liberating constraint, and that had to have been internet porn. Before internet porn came along, people like my father used to get their Playboy magazine in a very quaint brown paper wrapper. And then all of a sudden, the world has opened up to you, truly. But in terms of one slide that encapsulates everything in terms of liberating constraint, The Sound of Music, Maria is constrained by that convent, but she meets the family. The children are constrained by their horrible captain father, but they meet Maria. And the captain's constrained by the Nazis. They all end up singing Edelweiss at the end. I'm so happy